Hey everybody, it's Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And so with that, I am very familiar with Royal Caribbean's Crown and Anchor Society. And so I wanted to have a conversation today on, are there too many people in the Crown and Anchor Society, especially at the higher tiers of Diamond, Diamond Plus, and the Pinnacle Club? Now, I don't have any inside track to Royal Caribbean. I am still waiting on their social media team to contact me. If you know somebody, let them know, we'd love to chat. But I don't have an inside track on what's going to be happening with the Crown and Anchor Society. I don't have any special stats. These are all just my opinions on what I've seen, what I've analyzed, and how I think that, it could honestly play out at the end of the day. Now, to start with, I don't have numbers on, we've seen explosive growth. I don't have numbers saying that has happened. What I can say is I have noticed a significant uptick in just the number of Crown and Anchor Society members on cruise ships, especially at those higher tiers, because when you go to a top tier event, they're going to let you know how many Diamond Plus, and how many Pinnacle members you're going to have on that sailing. Now, oftentimes, I'm finding these days there are 300 to 600 Diamond and higher members on a cruise ship, which is an insane amount of people that are Diamond and Diamond Plus. If we look at the Pinnacle Club, that number is still running much higher than it used to. On a traditional sailing, it's probably coming in between 20 and 40 people. But there's some out there that are special. Maybe it's a transatlantic, it's a unique cruise. It'll have 200 plus Pinnacle members. And so that is a lot of folks. I also am a member of many Facebook groups for Diamond, Diamond Plus, and Pinnacle. And those groups have seen tremendous growth, I can't even get that word out. They've seen really large growth in their population size. And it's not because people are just now joining Facebook. If anything, more people are deleting it than joining it. But they're now getting into those higher tiers and can join these groups, which do require verification and validation. Now, how did this happen? And there's a few ways that I kind of think that this has happened. The first is, before COVID ever came, people had really bought into the fact that you can go and cruise for 2 and 3 months, and I'm running into weekend cruisers all the time, even before COVID was a thing. So post-COVID, I think there's certainly been a lot of demand, people wanting to go on vacation, wanting to do something. And you know what? There was the double points promotion. Something you all are probably familiar with is you got double points into the Crown and Anchor Society program when you sailed or booked that cruise before September of 2021. And so a lot of people took full advantage of this. My cruises were already grandfathered in, so I automatically got them. But there's a lot of people that absolutely chased points. They saw those double points and said, I want status. I want to make Diamond. I want to make Diamond Plus. I want to make the Pinnacle Club. And they absolutely chased status. Now, I don't really, mind that they chase status. I recognize that, honestly, it's a loyalty program. The reason that the Royal Caribbean has the Crown and Anchor Society is to encourage people to cruise more. And if double points mean that people are willing to spend more money than they used to with a cruise line who's, probably in pretty financial tough times these days and needing some extra cash, I am very comfortable with people chasing status and getting there. I always say, remember the journey, remember the ride, but if you want some points, go for it. That's why the loyalty program exists. Now, when I think about some of the issues of what does it mean that there are so many people that are now in the Crown and Anchor Society? What are the repercussions? What am I feeling as a Pinnacle Club member? How is it impacting me? The first thing that I'll say is the Diamond Lounge is pretty full these days, not necessarily on the weekend cruise. Most Diamond and higher folks, I feel like, won't get out of bed for a 5-night sailing or less. So they don't really come to the weekend cruise. But in a lot of the Diamond Lounges that I've been to on the longer sailings, they are packed and they're having to annex other sections that we can go and hang out in. And it's oftentimes very tough to find a seat. And it's not really in that mingling, intimate environment that it used to be when it was a smaller group of people. The other thing you're going to notice is the concierges that are in there, the Diamond concierges, they're going to be swamped. If they have that many more people in there, I don't think that they've increased headcount in the Diamond Lounge. It is still normally just one, unless you're on an Oasis class ship, and then you might get 2 Diamond concierges. But for the most part, that same person is now working with so many more people. And you might not be able to get to them for advice and guidance on what you need to do to have a wonderful cruise vacation because there's, 30 people already in front of you. Now let's talk about the Pinnacle Club. So this is a creme de la creme status. And this is one that, I'm a member of and can say how it's impacted me. Number one, the Coastal Kitchen can max out. One of the big benefits of being a Pinnacle Club member is the ability to access the Coastal Kitchen on the Oasis class ships without having to actually be in a suite classroom, which is a huge saving. The food in there is fantastic. But if there's too many people or too many Pinnacle members, they're going to start shortening the window that you can book. They'll either say you have to book the day before, or, what we saw on a cruise a couple of weeks ago is you get 2 visits to the Coastal Kitchen, and that is it, because we've got so many people that we have to move through. The Pinnacle Club members are also given access to the Suite Lounge, which is a really nice perk, and oftentimes they're in great locations on the ship, especially if the Diamond Lounge might not be. And if there are too many Pinnacle Club members, they're also going to take away the ability for Pinnacle Club members to go into the Suite Lounge, and they're going to set up a separate section just for Pinnacle Club members. Me personally, I've not really been a big fan of this alternative location because I find it's normally not the best location, and it segregates us to just Pinnacle Club members. And as much as I love my Pinnacle Club members, I kind of like hanging with everybody, and I feel more at home, honestly, in a Diamond Lounge than I do hanging out just with all the Pinnacle Club members. They also have a lot of intimate events and some of these are open to Diamond Plus, some are open to Pinnacle Club, but they have Cheers with an Officer, which used to be like Lunch with an Officer. Now it's just, Cheers with an Officer. It's a very informal event because you've got so many people in there. You don't get to have lunch with an officer because they don't have enough officers to go around to sit somebody at every single table. You've got the behind the scenes tour that we were all invited to, and you can't really do that anymore. They stopped it because of COVID initially, but now I think the numbers when I go, there's just too many people trying to get in, and we never fit behind the theater in the small little changing spot that the singers and dancers have. We also used to have an All Access Club. How many people remember the All Access Club or have asked where that's gone? So that is something that was initially a victim of the COVID pandemic, but coming out of COVID now, and they haven't restarted it, I don't think they are going to restart it because there's so many tours they'd have to do up to the bridge. It becomes really problematic for the crew and the officers up there to constantly have people in their space while they're trying to man the vessel. Now for me, when I look at what Royal Caribbean can do, it's really going to come down to how much of a cost are they willing to take by having all of these new Crown and Anchor members. So keep in mind that all of these benefits, they cost the company something. So from the drink coupons, which by the way, if you're a Diamond member, the entry level, 1 coupon is worth $13 and you get 4 of those. That is $52 every single day if you drink all of those. At the Pinnacle level, you get 6. So that's even more money every single day that they're probably losing in revenue because we don't have to go and buy drinks. You've got your cookies in the room. You've got your petit fours. You've got your meal with an officer. You've got your Cheers with an officer. You've got the crystal blocks that are sent out. You've got spa discounts. There's Wi-Fi discounts, which by the way is one of my favorite ones. But there's so many discounts in ways that the cruise line give up revenue and profit because they're giving us a really stellar program. And all of these things cost a lot of money. The most important one, or the most expensive one, is the Pinnacle Club benefit of you actually get more free cruises. The more you cruise, the more free cruises you get. And those are valued at like $2,000, $3,000. Now, should they not be okay with it, let's talk about some of the options of what Royal Caribbean can do. And might I say, the rumor of the Crown and Anchor Society having a change has been around since pre-COVID, because even back then, the conversation of there being too many Crown and Anchor members, it was already there. People were already having these conversations and talking about new tiers and new hurdles that could be added. And I don't know that Royal Caribbean has ever mentioned anything like that. I don't think anybody had an inside track. But what I will say though, and kudos to the marketing team at Royal Caribbean, is even the fear or the threat of the program changing or shifting has gotten people to book more cruises. I can't tell you how many people I've heard book saying, oh, I have to make this hurdle before they change the program. And that was even pre-COVID. So I think more than ever, the opportunity is probably there for them to change the program, but even just keeping us on our toes that it may be changed makes money for them. So how might they actually change these programs? The first way, just start a whole brand new program. So they might just say, you know what, Crown and Anchor is going to go away. We're now going to have the Royal Caribbean loyalty program. We're just going to call it that. And it's going to have new tiers, new hurdles, and new benefits across the board. They have all of our cruising information, so they can still pull the information, but they might just say, hey, we're going to start all over again. Their second option, and I think this one is probably more common, and we talked about it earlier, is just changing the current tier or tweaking the tiers to make them higher. So if the concern is, there's too many people getting the diamond level benefits, would they just move diamond to be the new 140 and then make 340 be the diamond plus and the new pinnacle status be 1400? I'm just throwing out random numbers here, but there's nothing keeping them from just increasing those. There's also nothing just to say, you know what? We're not going to offer benefits anymore. So we're not going to change the program. We'll leave it all the same, but we're going to remove some of the benefits that come with the Crown and Anchor Society. I don't know that there's a right answer there. I've heard a lot of people talk about that, oh, I'll be grandfathered in, I won't lose my benefits. There's no guarantee to that. Royal Caribbean does not have to grandfather anybody's benefits in. That would be completely up to them. It would be wonderful if they did, because I can't imagine having benefits or having a tier and then all of a sudden getting demoted. I think that would, as a guest, that would pretty well hurt Royal Caribbean. So I think that there would have to be some way to say, okay, you are grandfathered in or you are here at this status, you can keep getting these benefits, but all the new folks coming up might not. And at the end of the day, it's a loyalty program. The Crown and Anchor Society is intended to get us to cruise more frequently and more often. That's what loyalty programs do, is builds brand loyalty to go on the same company and hopefully go more frequently. So the question, I guess, is actually to you all who are watching this video, and let me know down in the comments, with all the new members that are coming into the Crown and Anchor Society, if you already have status, maybe you're still going for status, do you still feel valued as a Crown and Anchor Society member, even though now everybody seems to have some sort of status? So if everybody has status, do you still feel valued? Me personally, I would say absolutely I still feel valued. I love the benefits that we're getting, and quite frankly, and I hate to even put this out into the universe, Royal Caribbean could probably take away a few of the benefits that I get, and they would still have the best loyalty program out on the high seas. So we'll see how all of this plays out, but at the end of the day, remember, always focus on the journey, the adventure, making memories and meeting new people. Feel free to chase your points, to climb that ladder as quick as you want to. There is nothing wrong with that. But just make sure that you're also staying focused and staying present to enjoy yourself. All right, everyone, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see all you newly crowned Crown and Anchor Society members on a weekend cruise sailing soon.